not the best for the country because of the challenges in the system today.
Don't put words in my mouth.
So that is my question. Did you conduct the investigation?
Listen to me.
We are not like that.
So maybe this
we
government
don't act
got
like
things wrong.
animals. Hello, you're welcome to Head to Head, your non-diplomatic talk show where we say it just the way it is, no matter whose ox is God. And today I have with me an interesting personality. Now, he is a media man, also a media activist and a publisher of the Cross Rivers Watch. I'm talking about Comrade AGBAJALINGO. Now, is it right for me to call you Comrade AGBAJALINGO?
Well, I'm a comrade, as it were.
Okay, so Comrade AGBAJALINGO, what will you say about the state of the nation today?
Shambolism. The nation is in shambles, suffering from the effects of lying tongues in high places. Politicians that lack the capacity to say the truth. They say one thing and do the other. And it's setting the country on fire, but like they know how to they know how to blame the victim a lot. Every time they put the country on fire and create problems, they have a way of always trying to blame the Nigerian populace who are the victims of their actions. That's where we are presently.
Now, would you say the politicians know how to create the problems? Now, how about the people? Have they been passive, or they're also part of the problem? Because it's not, I don't think it's sufficient to say the leaders are just the problem.
Passivity itself is a problem, and I think that is the dilemma of the Nigerian population. They are very, very passive. The prevalent insecurity in the country today, beginning from Maiduguri in particular, and Borno State, if we know the history of all those crises, they were created by state actors. It was the former governor of Borno State that mushroomed Boko Haram, which eventually turned to the monster we have today. We have also had state actors. The late National Security Advisor Zazi told us that Boko Haram was started by PDP officials. He said that in public in Asaba. The violence that erupted after Endsars was also instigated by government. We saw how government was carrying thugs all over the place. They brought them in the BRT bus to attack us in Ikeja. Government was carrying... Oh yeah, it is.
Because you don't have the video for that.
We have a video. A BRT bus came. We saw them. Orisha Dagun led them to Ikeja. A BRT bus, branded. And the Lagos State government did not deny it. They only said that other people have access to the BRT buses because they are not strictly owned by government.
So which means we can't definitely say it's the government that hired them.
It was the government. As a matter of fact, in Abuja, we saw how vehicles from the presidency, SUV, belonging to the DSS, were being used to chauffeur drive touts all over the place to protest venues to attack us.
I saw the video you're talking about.
Yeah.
Black SUV.
No, it was all police vans.
With men in black.
No, there was also crested police vans, written there, Nigerian Police Force, carrying thugs to come and attack protest venue. Videos with crested police vans. Unless somebody is saying that hoodlums went and bought new vehicles and painted them with Nigerian logos, Nigerian police logos rather. But if not, these were crested police vehicles. If we assume that the ones that were used by the DSS is a secret police, so you don't expect them to write DSS on their vehicles. But we know them when we see them. And we know that the government was distributing them from location to location to come and attack us. The violence in Nigeria is created by politicians.
The government gets involved in distributing thugs to create this level of havoc. Now, what do you think the government has to gain in such?
I'll tell you, they tried to break Lekki protest. It didn't work. The only way they can remove us from the street is to create violence so that they will have a reason to bring in soldiers or bring in whatever they want to bring. They tried to cause violence, it was impossible. They brought these thugs, the protesters went and hired private security and formed a ring around themselves saying, we will not do violence. We know what government is up to. They want this place to be violent so they will clear us from the road. When they tried everything and it didn't work, they eventually had to go and bring soldiers in the middle of the night to come and force them out of the road. They know why they are doing that. Distribute violence. Once the violence starts, that becomes an alibi. So you can now enter. That's their game.
Now let's situate these things very well. The government is saying, look, we are not involved. They also didn't agree with what you just stated, that they kind of created the violence so that they'll break the ranks of the protesters. Now, this thing dragged for about 2 weeks. I mean, the protests, the hoodlums hijacked it and wreaked havoc on the society. Now, could we say also that those who organized this protest, I mean the Endsars protesters, did not manage the situation very well, and it got dragged on for 2 weeks before the hoodlums hijacked it?
Well, I'm finding it difficult to understand on what we are saying when you say they did not manage it well. Because people were on the street for 2 weeks waiting for government to answer their demands. In fact, the 5/5 agenda was an elitist agenda that was being pushed by government within us. There was no.
But the government responded to that.
There was no point. There was no point any time. That 5/5, the so-called 5 demands. Who brought them out?
The people, the protesters.
Who? Who signed them?
No, because there's no.
Those things were manufactured. Those things were manufactured amongst themselves to create that impression that it was a 5/5.
Now you saying the 5.
That was why even when government said they had acceded, that's why when government said they had acceded, the protesters said we are not going home.
So they brought out the 7 again.
See, all those 6, 7, 5, 10 or whatever were orchestrated by government because they needed to benchmark what we were doing for us. So they were sitting down somewhere and creating those things for us. And that's why every time they said we have acceded to your demands, the protesters said we are not going anywhere because those demands were not generated from the protesters.
So if those demands did not generate from the protesters, what exactly were they demanding?
For protesters. Number one, Endsars. SARS ended.
And government said we're going to end SARS. They disbanded SARS. Was that not sufficient?
Government has told us so many things in this country that are bloody lies, pure lies. They said they have disbanded SARS. Is SARS disbanded in the real sense of the word? No. We were protesting against police brutality. It wasn't just about SARS. SARS is the Nigerian police. We should not make it look as if SARS is a different force on its own, like civil defense or something. SARS is the police. Yes, brutality of the police. And I'm telling you that it has not ended. It hasn't ended. And that is why the protest will not end. The protest will also continue until what we ask for ended. And of course, who said that protesters do not have the right to extend the demands from ending SARS to even ending the Buhari's government? Is there anything wrong with asking for that?
But you and I know that one way to end the Buhari government is through the ballot paper.
That's one of the ways. It's not the only way.
Which other way?
Oh,
that's by the law.
Oh, no, hold on. One way is ballot box. The other way is the way that Buhari used in 1983. We are not saying what politicians want to hear. We don't need to say, okay, let me use myself as an example. I don't owe any politician. My business is not to say what politicians want to hear. It's to say what is in my mind. And I'm telling you that the ballot box is not the only way to change a government. Buhari changed a government in this country through a coup plot.
The only way to change a government.
Buhari changed a government in this country through a coup plot, and several things he did and signed are considered legal today. And the third one, John Locke, who propounded the theory of setting up government itself, and said that if the people become dissatisfied with government, they have a right to rise up and change that government by themselves. And Buhari did it after he lost every election in Nigeria. He will go to the street. All the elections he lost, after he loses, he goes to the street to protest.
But he did not change the government. Now, could that be the reason why you had this issue with government I think last year, when you were taken to detention,
for camp prison,
and for treason and
all
that?
Remanded.
Could it be because of this mindset of yours that there are different ways to change a government?
It's not my mindset. These are all, I gave you an example. Buhari used it. It's not my mindset. We have seen it happen several times. We saw how people...
Do you believe in democracy?
I am a Democrat.
You're a Democrat?
Yes.
And you know that in a democracy, as a Democrat, the way to change a government is through the ballot paper. Do you believe
One of the ways to change a government is through the ballot box.
Coup is not even acceptable in a democracy.
No, a coup is not acceptable. But I'm also saying that it is one of the ways to change government, whether it's acceptable or not. But it is one of the ways, and we have seen it happen all over the world now, every now and then, including this same president that is running Nigeria today. He was a coupist. He signed so many things that we consider right today. He's earning pension as a former coupist. He's earning a pension. If it was illegal, why are they paying pension? He's collecting arrears as a former military president, a coupist. He changed government. It is one of the ways, even though I don't agree with it. I'm not advocating for it, but I'm telling you that there is not only one way that you use to change government. Then you ask me about Calabar. I exposed corruption in Calabar. My governor said he wanted to open a microfinance bank with 500 million naira. And even up till now, as we're talking, the bank is not there. And the money is not there.
That was a government you're also part of.
I have never been part of the government.
You're a friend of the governor.
The governor is my brother.
It's your brother.
I've never been part of the government. Yeah. Not just from the same area. We are related. It's my brother, it's my cousin.
At the beginning, you were together.
Together where? We have always been together. Like I said, he's my cousin.
Before you fell out.
He's my brother. Okay. There was no time we were enemies. He's my brother. We have never been enemies. He's my blood.
I mean, the point of disagreement that brought in the rift between...
It was because I exposed corruption. He didn't want me to. He thought I'm your brother. You shouldn't be doing this to me. And I said, no, this is not a family meeting. It's not a family meeting.
No,
I need to call you out.
People say that AGBA JALINGO gets fights dirty when he realizes that he needed to take advantage of a system. So he blackmailed the system.
Like which system? Which system? Nigerian system or crossover system?
Crossover system that all you're doing is because you want to blackmail them to get some benefits from the government.
You see, if I've given somebody money, you should have evidence, Nabi. Or is the money spiritual? If it's spiritual money, maybe. But if you have given somebody money, have I not provoked Governor Yade enough to show the public evidence of the money he has given me? And if I have a brother, a cousin who is a governor, if I need money, won't he give me? I have a cousin.
You should ask him.
He's a governor. If I need money, won't he give me? Will you call it blackmail? I'm not asking for his state money. He earns a salary now. According to him, he was a billionaire before he became governor. So we won't give him money. Is he an irresponsible senior brother?
Let's go back to while you were in detention, and it's called the Nigerian Correctional Service, and it was intended. The intent is that when you come out of the place, certain things you change about the individual. Now, the time you spend in there, would you say that our prison system, our correctional service system, is sufficient to help remold and reform those who, by accident or by commission or omission, find themselves in such detention?
We don't have any correction center in Nigeria. Those places cannot correct anybody. They are corruption centers. We can't correct anybody. I wasn't corrected. They took me there to punish me, that's all. There's no correction going on there. If anybody tells you they are correcting anybody, there's a lie. Who will betray you if you go there for corruption? You can only go there to learn more criminality, that's all.
You can only go there to learn more criminality?
Yes. The warders are criminal, the inmates are criminal, everything in the prison system is criminal. The warders are criminals.
If you make such statements, those are wild statements.
I say the warders are criminals. From the gate, they will tell you visit is free. That is the biggest lie in prison.
Visit is free?
That is the biggest lie in the prison. You pay for every visit. I put it to you. Fisayo Shoyombo, an investigative journalist, did an investigation in Ikoyi prison here with videos where they were paying money before you enter at the Ikoyi prison. And that is the situation in all the prisons in Nigeria, including the one where I was detained. I also paid money. My visitors that were coming to see me were paying money every day. If you come 10 times, you must pay the warders 10 times.
So if you don't pay, what happens?
They will not allow you enter. And then when they give you money, the warders are collecting the 30% stays with the warder.
And because they are not even permitted to hold money while in prison?
No, yeah, they are supposed to keep it for you.
Okay,
they are not supposed to collect it from you. They collect 30% from you as their own commission, number one. Then when you enter, they say you give your marshal your own. If they give you 1,000, by the time you are through with the money, maybe now only 400 naira will remain for your hand. Because you give the warder 30%, you give yourself.
This seems to be a Nigerian problem, not just a prison problem or correctional service.
It's a Nigerian problem.
If we look at the police, you will still talk about the police also that there is corruption.
The warders are more corrupt than the police. I can say that confidently. I've dealt with the police. I've dealt with warders. In fact, if there is justice in heaven, there will be no warder in heaven. If heaven exists, there will be no warder. There should not be any warder in heaven.
Is it because probably while you were in prison, I don't want to say while you were in prison, while you were in detention at the correctional service?
I was actually remanded in prison. I was detained in the police station for 34 days, but in prison it can't be detention. I was actually remanded.
so if somebody jokingly said that AGBA JALINGO was a prisoner.
Yeah, I was in prison for 5 months plus 34 days at the police station. I was actually in prison. I was remanded in prison.
No, you said that the Nigerian, the correctional service warders are more corrupt than the Nigerian.
I think so, from my experience.
So many Nigerians will not agree with you.
They haven't been to prison. But if you ask those who have gone to prison, they understand what I'm talking about.
You have a history with the police, you have a history with warders, so you
yes.
know the difference.
And if I juxtapose them, I believe that the warders are far, far, far more corrupt than the police. The only reason we don't notice is that the walls in the prison yard are high. We don't interact with them. But you have access to the police every now and then. You walk in and out. You don't walk in and out of a prison. So you don't know the atrocities that go on inside.
We'll come back to this now. Let's go on this short break, and when we're back, we'll still be dwelling more about other national issues affecting Nigeria. Please do stay with us.
It's not the best for the country because of the challenges in the system today.
Don't put words in my mouth.
So that is my question. Did you conduct the investigation?
Listen to me.
We are not like that.
So maybe this
we don't act like animals.
Now, you're welcome back. If you're just joining us, I've been speaking with Comrade AGBA JALINGO, a media activist, and one man who has been to the Nigerian police detention cells and also the correctional service cell, that's the prison, and he's back telling us his story and experience. Now, I just said you've been to the prison, you've been to the police. I remember those days in Ogudu while you started probably the history with police detention at the police camps. Now tell us about your experience.
I'm actually writing a book right now, and I'm still going to write a second one about my experiences with the police. It's happenstance. It's not something I planned. You know, good that I remember you're always coming around. We started with NEPA issues, raiding, and all of that. That's when police started beating me. But the good thing about this thing is that if you are beaten once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 5th time, 6th time, after some time,
you become hardened. The
fear is gone. And as I sit down here, that fear is gone.
So
completely
they created
gone.
This new AGBA JALINGO.
Yes, the fear is completely gone. I have become used to their beating. Every time I walk into a police station, I don't expect to be treated nicely. I expect hostility. I expect to be beaten up. So I'm never disappointed. Any day I'm treated nicely, I become surprised. And that is my experience. And I don't expect anything new in the near future. I know that the country will change. The police will also change, but it's not going to be now. So that's what the situation is presently. And when I go to Calabar, I've slept in the Ikoyi prison. I've slept in Kirikiri once. I slept in Calabar. And even the fear of prison is gone. It's completely gone. And when you were talking about the prison in Calabar, the only thing we could not find to buy in prison maybe is a human being's body or human meat or maybe firearms. Those were the only things that were not in prison.
So any other thing?
You buy Igbo, you buy cocaine, even if you want to have sex, everything. The system is horrible.
In the prison there?
Yes. I say it boldly.
So we don't really need police reform, we need prison reforms also.
No, it is the police that take us to prison now. The prison is a warehouse. The warder doesn't know you. They sit on their own, then police go around reading people every day, innocent people. And because they can't keep them before you know they're in a prison. So it begins from the police.
Now, if we're talking about this present police reform, because this whole idea of the Endsars, the protests and all that is because our security system, we need to just reform this. But do you think we can really have a reformed police system, a reformed correctional service system? Do you think it is possible?
Very, very possible. And it's actually not difficult. But it's just that, like I said, we have lying tongues in high places. Public officials and politicians who have no interest in actually giving Nigeria a police that will police the poor people. I have consistently described the Nigerian police as an elite militia, a militia of the ruling class. Just like them Tompolo and Co, just like Boko Haram for Abubakar Shekau.
So
the Nigerian police is a militia for the ruling class. Anytime they want to deal with the poor, they want to unleash them on us, they send them to come and deal with us. They are not serving the Nigerian people. They have no interest in protecting us. The Nigerian police they are experts in VIP protection. Let the poor man call them, they won't come. But they're experts in VIP protection. Once you have money, you can get their protection. So, and it is not because the country cannot get a good police. It is because the politicians are not interested in policing us.
So
you remember when
the politicians are not interested?
They're not. See, if we have a disciplined Nigerian police that knows the powers that the Constitution gives them, they will arrest these politicians. The IG would have been going around arresting those who send those thugs to come and attack us. If the Nigerian police is confident, if they know their job, they are properly funded and properly trained.
The language of the
no, they will not need to wait for anybody's language.
That is what we know in this country.
That's what I'm saying, that they are militia. It is their militia. They are answerable to those who give them those positions. They are not answerable to us.
This same government was the government that was at the forefront of campaigning for reforms before they took over government. Does it surprise you that, is it an issue that when you get into government, the whole game changes? Or but when you are in the opposition, you have a voice, but when you get into government, things change? Is there something wrong with governance in the country?
I've been wondering.
But we said this also when PDP was in charge.
I've been wondering myself, Eshomomo, because maybe let me seize this opportunity to say something. People blame us in Sahara Reporters that we supported Jonathan to bring Buhari into government. But I remember very vividly that Sahara Reporters was perhaps the only organization that brought out the original pictures of President Yar'Adua on the hospital bed in Saudi Arabia and said Yar'Adua was dead. The whole country was abusing. We started the agitation to make President Jonathan the acting president. I went to Abuja, entered the night bus, go to Abuja to join the protest that was led by Professor Oloshenka. Dimitri Bankole was the speaker. I remember he came out to address us. And Professor Oloshenka asked the crowd, should we allow him to address us? We said no. We booed him and he left. Until David Mark had to invoke the doctrine of necessity. We are at the forefront. of making sure that time they accused Jonathan of bribing Save Nigeria Group with $50,000. Whether it was true or false, I don't know. And until Jonathan became president. But his supporters forget the role that we played during that period. And then when he got into government, things changed. We started hearing Buhari. I foolishly believed, joining campaigning for this in Buhari. Yes, I use that word foolishly. I believed him. Well, I saw people like Baba Femi Ojodu, I saw Tinubu, I saw all of that. I said, these are progressives. Maybe they are going to change Nigeria. But you know what? They are 10 times worse than PDP.
No, if you say they are 10 times worse than PDP,
they are.
AGBA JALINGO, if you find
pretentious, liars, criminals, stealing.
Today, if you find yourself in government today, your voice will also change. Don't you think so?
See, if you're in government, I can't be speaking like I'm speaking because I'm already in government. I'll be expected to be changing things, not to be criticizing government. Now I'm criticizing government because I'm outside. But if I get into government, I'm expected to be changing things. That's what.
To advance the policy of government.
Yes, that's why I expect that by now they should have been changing the things that they said they wanted to change. Myself and a couple of the people I see in government today. Like the other day, I called the Minister of State for Labour, Festus Keyamo. I said, we have a name we call ourselves. We were together at Ojota protesting against fuel subsidy. How are you managing to defend it today? We have been together protesting against IMF policies in Nigeria. This excessive borrowing, reckless borrowing without doing anything. How are you people managing to defend these things today?
With all that is going on, what is your interest in crisis? Why are you so comfortable in being part of the group that wants to change a sitting government? People will say you're on the payroll of certain individual. See,
I pay people salaries.
And people also pay you.
Nobody pays me. I challenge anybody that says he's giving me money. I don't know. These are not things I like to entertain. When people bring those allegations, those are based, they are stupid. As a citizen.
Everybody has a price.
As a citizen, no.
Everybody has a price.
It's a lie.
You have a price.
You have to prove it. It's a lie.
Maybe they have not discovered
it is not
price.
true.
It might not be money, but everybody has a price.
It is not true that everybody has a price. It is a bloody lie.
Maybe they need to say.
Balarabe Musa just died. He never had a price.
Maybe they never discovered.
He never had a price.
It might not be money.
He never had a price. Why didn't they discover it? It's not everybody that had a price. Balarabe Musa died. The former governor did not even have an air condition in his parlor. He didn't have a price. So that is not true. Those are not even discussion. Is somebody saying that as an adult of 42 years old, I don't have a right to ask questions until I'm given money? Oh, when will I be a man? If I have to be paid before I do what I need to do, when will I become a man? It's stupid for anybody to think like that. Buhari became the head of state. He did a coup and became the head of state of Nigeria at 44.
Do you like using that word, he did a coup?
Yes. He did a coup and became the head of state in Nigeria at 44, 2 years away from me. Gowon became a head of state in this country, was younger than me. Donald Duke became governor of Cross River State. He was 36 years old, just yesterday. He celebrated his 37th birthday in office. For God, Imoke became senator at 30. I'm 42. And somebody is still sitting down somewhere thinking that I need to be paid to express myself. Then that person is sick. I'm an adult. I don't know how. Life expectancy in Nigeria is 53 years old. If that is followed, I only have 11 more years to live, right? You see, when I die, that I will start talking without being paid.
Now, if the system continues like this, for how long can you hold on in your struggle?
Until two things happen. Until Nigeria change or until I die.
Until Nigeria changes?
Until I die, yes.
Let me just quickly raise one other thing before we continue. Just recently also, some very prominent Nigerians were charged to court by an individual seeking for certain questions to be asked. I think about 50 or so Nigerians, most of them entertainers, some of them influencers, and we have a government also that's talking about various state governments have set up the Judicial Commission of Inquiry, trying to find the middle ground between the protesters and government. Because the president said they should all come to the negotiation table and discuss. Now, do you think what happened just played out in the courts and the Judicial Commission of Inquiry are two conflicting stands of government?
The commissions of judicial commissions of inquiry, panels of inquiry rather, were a smoke screen. In Nigeria, if you want to freeze something, if an issue is boiling and boiling, and you need to buy time, just set up a committee or a panel.
I didn't get you.
If there's a burning issue in Nigeria and you need to buy time, you just need to quell the matter and buy time. Set up a committee.
Why?
That's our system.
You don't have confidence even in the system?
This government has been, our politicians have been lying for more than 60 years, lying towards the same set of people. They have no intention.
It's better you go to the panel, air your view, than not to even go there to air your view.
President Buhari alone has set up more than 35 presidential panels to do different things. None of the reports has been implemented. None. Now, from shaking of head down the start, you must give me a reason to believe you. See, these people are liars. You believe them at your own peril. And then secondly, the people they went to church, that's the voice of Jacob and the hand of Esau. In Nigeria, when government wants to do their shenanigans, they always look for one willing tool. It's always usually very unfortunate that the people have to come from the south. But you know what that guy just did? Those 49 names, it's difficult to always see all of them in one place at the same time. It must be a very, very powerful concert to see all those musicians and comedians and actors. Macaroni is there, Two-Face is there, Kanawanko is there, even Pastor Sam Adeyemi is there. So it's actually going to be a concert that day. We are waiting for the court date. I'm sure that Pastor Sam Adeyemi will do the opening prayer, and Two-Face will start the concert. Tiwa Savage will sing. Tasha is even there. So by the time they announce the date and the court, we will also tell Nigerians how much is the gate fee. And then table for 5, table for 10, because it's actually a concert. And we are going to be there, we'll do the concert. It's all nonsense.
About what are your fears?
My fears are that if our politicians refuse to address these issues that the protesters are raising, there could be a second or a third or a fourth wave, and we don't know what may happen that time. Because if this confidence is completely eroded, it will be difficult to turn those people back.
But you're not even afraid for your life?
Even if we die, all living things shall die. Even death itself shall die after it has finished killing everybody.
And you have even gotten to the point that you can die for Nigeria?
I am not dying for Nigeria, I'm dying for my conviction. Even if I die, I'm dying for my conviction, not for Nigeria. So I am too small to die for Nigeria, but I will die for my conviction.
Abba, thank you so much for coming over.
God bless you and God bless Nigeria.
So let's do it this way.
Appreciate it.
That is all we can take on Head to Head today. Thank you so much for being part of this particular edition. Let's make it another appointment next week, same time. I remain yours sincerely, Eshomo. Bye for now.
It's not the best for the country because of the challenges in the system today.
Don't put words in my mouth.
So that is my question. Did you conduct the investigation?
Listen to me.
We are not like that.
So
we
maybe
don't act like animals.